Hi, and welcome to Android Coliseum Hangout number 141. It is November 18th, and has winter struck where you guys are?
Hell no.
Okay, so Martin's in the hot, warm area of Ottawa. What about
5
you,
degrees so
Savon?
far.
Savon, have you guys had snow in Montreal yet?
No, not really.
We saw
nice.
yours. We saw your snow picture, Ryan. Did it melt?
Yeah, it all melted pretty much in like a day or two, and then it sounds like we're going to get some snow again tomorrow, but we're still supposed to be like +5, so hopefully there's not much snow.
Well, and on the prairies, we seem to be getting the wind that BC was enjoying. It's -10, but clear, and we have no snow, so, it's all good for us. Might be colder than -10. But anyways, a good time to be inside talking about Android. And we'll start off with some Nexus news. Martin,
Yeah, definitely. We've got the Nexus 5, which is now available on select Canadian carriers. I mean, apparently not everybody's carrying it at the moment. We've got Bell, we've got Wind, we've got Sasktel, Videotron, Eastlink, and TELUS. They're the ones that are currently carrying the 5X. Anybody that's out there that was looking to get the 5X, whether if you can't get it off the Play Store or you want to get it on subsidy, you can head to one of those carriers and they'll be happy to give you some service.
I'm sure even for people that like to touch and hold and check, there's a good
And that
opportunity.
too, I mean, they'll be able to play with them and see the look and feel and see what they like and whatnot. And yeah, it's definitely a bonus for people that actually like to have the feel of the device in their hands before they actually go and make a purchase, especially if you're paying full price for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on top of that, there's also something that ties into that is we'll be getting the Nexus 5 Protect, the Nexus Protect program that's going to be available over to Canada as well. And a lot of people are looking forward to that because it's one of the first time that we're getting it because we weren't privy to that before, which should be interesting to see how that's going to work out.
And what does that include exactly?
Protecting your smartphone in case of anything of the worst that can happen, like additional policy and damage for your phone and whatnot. So there's a lot of breakdown. I don't remember on the top of my head what the details were for the protection service, but it covers more than what your carrier would normally provide you with.
Okay, and do you have a comment too, Ryan?
Yeah, so the idea is we're looking at it'd be, I think it was $69 and $89 for the 5X and the 6P. On top of that, you're allowed to have 2 accidents within that 2-year time, I think it is. So it gives you an extra year's coverage, and then within that 2-year time, you're allowed to have 2 accidents. When you do have an accident, there is like an $80 fee on top of that. So if you broke it twice, so let's say you did break it twice, crack the screen or whatever, you pay the $70 on top of your regular fee, plus 2 $80 fees, right? So $160. So you'd be paying $230, but you would have gotten your phone replaced twice. So versus having to buy a new one or have to go and get the screen replaced at about $100 a pop, etc.
Wow.
Right? So
My protection plan is cheaper than that with Bell then.
So that's what I saw, and they're talking about this with the price. So.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that goes over.
Indeed.
So you have more phone news for us. You're just like a phone machine, Mark.
You know what? I'm just going to go through them. I mean, we've got the announcements for the Samsung Galaxy A5, which launched in Canada. It's going to be available with Rogers, Bell, TELUS, Virgin, Kudu, Videotron, Sasktel, and Fido. And it looks like a good phone. It's definitely going to be a mid-range type of phone. And we're looking at the 5-inch display.
Is this the first time they've offered the A line in Canada for Samsung?
As far as I know, yes. This is one of the first one, and it's a 720p Super AMOLED display. It's a quad-core 1.2. It's working with the Snapdragon 410 though, which was interesting to see. 13-megapixel camera still, 2 gigs of RAM, micro SD up to 64 gig. Battery is quite small, 2300. I would have expected at least 27 to 28.
Is this
and it's
the
gonna-
A5 from like a
the-
year ago?
You know what? I don't think it's the A5 from a year ago. This appears to be the new A5.
So it would be an upgrade to the Alpha if you were one of the people that got the Alpha.
But it's
Definitely.
a 720 screen though. It's only 720. Like the Alpha was a 1080.
This is definitely. This is only a 720, and it's going to only have Lollipop 5.02, not 5.11.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that goes over. Lots of people don't really care what their operating system is.
Nope, and a lot of them, I'd say a lot of consumer are just not going to care. They're not going to care for the spec. They're going to go in the store, they're going to look at the phone, put it in their hands, and like, oh, I like it, and then just buy it.
Yeah.
And this is essentially what happens every time.
I think it doesn't matter how much it costs. That's what happens, and then you justify it after.
That's usually, you know what? Oh, it looks great. Oh, what's the price tag? Oh, yeah, I'll still buy it.
Yeah. And then the last one?
And the last one of my favorite, probably I'm becoming a Sony fan now apparently, it's the Z5 Premium from Sony, which is going to be available at Bell. And no, I don't want it because of the 4K display, I just want it because it's a Z5. And I've tried all the series, and I still have a Z2 here, but I'm thinking Z5 might be my next jump, and Bell might actually offer me the Z5 at no cost, so might go for it.
The battery does look good, and I gotta say the fingerprint scanner where it was a good call on their part.
So where did they put that?
This is why I want to try it. I mean, I want to go in store and see how I like it, and hopefully I can work a deal with Bell and I can sponsor it for free.
Okay, so you've run through any of those interesting to anybody other than the Z5 and Martin? I'm seeing no's at this point in time.
I'm waiting. It'd be neat to go see the 5X in stores because I'd want to feel the bump in the back of it. Because I don't think I could live with it. I just might have to go for the 6P if I'm looking at a new phone. But it'd be good to just try it out, see if But I think the 6P is what I'd have to go for personally.
I'm the same way. I mean, if I'm going for a new phone, I'm gonna want it to be the premium. So I'd be going with the 6P as well if I went for like a Nexus device.
Yeah, I just got the phone, so I'm not looking to change for now.
No,
and I
they
can
send
never
them
get
to you.
any upgrades from my carrier because I'm on a very old plan, and so no more subsidized phones for me.
You can't get subsidy. Oh.
No,
she would have to change her plan.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand now.
I rather pay less every month and just get the phone unlocked.
Yeah, and I
have enough phones lying around, so.
I seem to be on one of those plans too now because apparently Bell has taken out. They've increased their prices so that you don't get quite the discount that you used to get. So it looks like.
To be honest, yeah, even if you do get a subsidized phone, usually it doesn't pay because if you calculate the difference between a plan without getting a phone, and a plan that qualifies for a subsidy, and you calculate it times 24 months, it's cheaper to get a phone, an unlocked phone outright.
Oh. Absolutely, and I found that even I got my S6 through Expansis, and even with even with shipping and stuff like that, it was still cheaper than
right. And it's not only the 24 months actually, because the moment you upgrade to a more expensive one, you'll be stuck on that plan, and they might not let you downgrade to a cheaper one. Like the one I have, if I give it up, I'll never be able to get it back. And I'm paying only about $62 a month, all included with the 6 gig of data. So
yes, it's gonna be interesting to see actually as more people go to bring your own device. Like now that Staples has inexpensive devices and things like that, what they're going to do, whether the carriers will bite that bullet and say.
Well, most people are not even aware of it. They just go to the carrier, they ask what do you have, they'll never think of, oh, maybe I should buy a Moto G. I don't need more than that. It's only $230. If you divide that by 24 months, I mean, it's better to get a cheap plan and buy the phone.
The problem with that is a lot of people don't have the money up front, so they'll go with a subsidized phone. And this is what's happening. This is where carriers are betting on it.
Mm-hmm. See, that's something they've preyed on for years, and the same thing I've had a few people who are sitting there like, well, I really want to get a new phone, but I don't want to pay the money. And you try to do the math on them to say, do the math, it makes more sense, and then they just won't.
And people want the best phone, right?
It.
They want the best Samsung that will cost $700. Obviously, they can't afford it, but they'll still pay $20-something a month, or they'll put $350. Plus and the plan,
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, next upgrade cycle, I obviously just got my phone outright, so I won't be upgrading for a little while. But I'm sure by the time I do upgrade, there'll be lots of options out there, because there were actually quite a few options this time. I'm just one of those people that takes a while to embrace the outside the box thing. So let's move on. YouTube Kids comes to Canada, but not Quebec yet.
Yeah.
Right. So the story on this one is a while ago. So YouTube came up with this really fun, interactive user interface on YouTube meant just for kids. They could look at just the Dora the Explorer or just the Elmo, and so they recognize the people they know, and they would follow those videos. So unfortunately, it was never released in Canada until recently, and they just actually, was it today? I think they officially got it announced that it's available in Canada. And then Mobile Surf had to notice that, wait a minute, you can't get it in Quebec. So it turns out that they got a response from Google that it was, Quebec is a unique marketplace, or the exact wording I think it was saying, and they are being very cautious in how they roll this out into external markets, which, to be honest, I can't see why they would look at Canada then technically as two different markets. And Martin was saying earlier that there's a requirement to have 80% French content, which I thought on online services.
80%, no.
In Quebec, it's mostly 80% content for French. Yes, it's a CRTC regulation.
We have English TV and English cable and English channels, so we can't get English YouTube.
And
English radio, we have everything in English, so no.
Correct, but there is a requirement for 80% French. Yes, it's not a joke.
Not in the English radio. I live here. No.
Yeah, no, I know. English is fine. It's when it comes to French content, it has to be 80%.
Yeah,
it's
but
there.
YouTube is an English channel. That's all.
I agree, but that's apparently an issue.
Well, I know that there are a bunch of different laws for Quebec, because even at work, they had a competition at work, and they said that people in Quebec couldn't join in, and it's like...
Competition is something else. That's
like
law in Quebec for lottery and competitions. That has nothing to do with content. Netflix has no problem being in Quebec. Other services have no problem being in Quebec.
But
English
Netflix
are available here. English radio, like I said. Anyways,
But Netflix does provide content in French via subtitles, which they can get around with.
Not 80%, like you said.
At least 80%. Oh yeah, a lot of the stuff I can.
French on
so, streaming apps via Google Now. This was not an argument that was going anywhere, and it's starting to sound a little heated. So,
okay. Whenever we involve the French in somehow in Canada, it becomes an issue.
It's always heated.
Okay, so
yeah, that's it. It's always
the passion
heated.
of the French. All right, so Google Now, as we all know, is one of the greatest features of Android since sliced bread. Being able to give you all the answers you'd want to have right away. And one of the new things that they're having to do, they recently included, is that depending on the results you could jump straight to an app. and say, well, you want to get this thing. Well, all that answers is just straight in the app. Go straight to it. Go listen to it in YouTube. Go listen to it and play music. So what they're doing now is that, let's say you're looking for a hotel. This is when they showed off. And you're looking for a hotel. Well, like, here's all the reviews of these hotel on this app. Do you want us to stream what that would look like inside the app? And so you get a quick view of what that app would look like in Google Now, which I thought was actually pretty cool. So technically, you may, like, if especially like you're like me, you have a few apps on your phone that you never use except for 1 or 2 things a year, that you could technically just use Google Now. So if those 2 or 3 things a year you use the app for, so a Yelp review or something like that, you might be able to do that via Google Now. So that's pretty cool. So you can see the link.
You don't need it installed, or?
No.
That would be nice for the people with smaller memories on their phone. That sort of goes along with having all your photos in the cloud and everything as well. So an interesting concept. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I was kind of very excited about that. The idea that you could just be able to, go search now, and depending on this is an app that it sort of ties with. Well, you know what? Here's what it would look like. You don't have to have it installed, but here's what it looks like. If you want to install it, go right ahead. But I don't know if you could. It doesn't show whether or not you could interact with it or whether it was just a demo.
Just a demo. Cool. Well, and then let's move on. You're going to talk a bit more about software, Ryan.
Oh, right. So yes. my sort of go-to thing lately has always been Humble Bundle. When I discovered Humble Bundle, the apps I've been getting on for my Android phone also have Steam components as well. I was like, this is great. I'm Scottish. I love a deal. So who doesn't like the idea of being able to purchase $25 worth of apps for only $4? So every couple weeks, the Humble Mobile Edition would come out, and it would be just Android apps. So just Android apps. I mean, sometimes they'll have a bundle that's compatible with Android, but also Steam or whatever else. It looks like they're going to be getting rid of just the Android-only versions. So the Humble Mobile Edition is going to be gone. Now, they'll still do Humble Bundles, but you'll have to take a look at to see, is that app compatible with Android, or is it Steam or Windows or Linux only? So you'll have to take a look at when they announce it, what compatibility you would have for that. So if you're looking for just as an Android user, you might have to do a little bit more digging. If you're all-around user, then you don't have to worry so much. But just Android only looks like they're going away from. Why? I don't know if they ever really said. So, but it's just too bad.
Well, did you guys buy a lot through the Humble Bundle Android?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I bought just about every one.
See, and I bought some, but I'm not a big gamer, so I'm more likely to pick up something from the Google Store that's on sale than a bunch of stuff. But the nice thing is that with the Humble Bundle is that you can, of course, install it on a couple of different devices, and they don't need to have the same Google account on it, just the same software login.
Right, like I buy it. I put it on my son's phone. I put it on all my other devices here and there, so everybody can have the same apps if I wanted to. So. Yep.
So, pardon me.
I'm not a big gamer, so I never bothered with it.
Yeah, I'm not huge on games either. So one of the things that came up this week was Pushbullet decided to monetize by going to a paid option. We all talked about this the other day. The paid option kicks in, I think, after 100 messages. If you're someone who uses more than 100 messages, you would have to go for the paid option. What do you guys think about that? From a user perspective, I'm sure we all understand that people need to make money.
From a user perspective, it's going to suck. It's just the nature of the thing. I mean, a lot of the options people were used to are being stripped away, and you're reduced to 100 messages that you can actually text over Pushbullet. And your file size is going from a large file size that you could transfer to 25 megs per file a maximum storage of 2 gigs, which a lot of people are using apparently more than that. And obviously the paid version is not appreciated by a lot because it's going for $4.99 monthly, or if I remember correctly, $39.99 yearly. And a lot of people are just like, yeah, no, not going to happen.
What do you think, Ryan? I'm going to the far side.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I've never really used Pushbill until recently. And, I don't use it heavily, but I started really liking the idea of being able to push links to my phone. I don't really use it for the text messages, but I like being able to say, right-click, send this link to that phone, or copy this text and send it to that phone. And now that it looks like there's going to be a limit on some of that, I never really used the text message, so limiting it down kind of sucks. I don't really use the file transfer. So it doesn't really affect me, but the same idea that the fact that I don't mind paying for a service if I'm going to use it. That's not an issue whatsoever because there's plenty of services I do pay for. But the price point at which they started to list it out really, really hits hard, I think. That's the biggest issue I think I have with it is the fact that it's just too much. Now, if they said it's going to be $5 a month and you're also going to get these features, which we never used before, here's why you're paying $5 a month. Because right now, you got everybody on the service for how it's been on for a couple of years now, and now you have to pay for it all. Or go down to the most limited version of it, right? So I think it would be a little smarter if they said, and paying $5 a month if you can get these extra services that you never had before, that we could get like real premium services versus these are the basic services we had before this time became.
And what do you think, Siobhan?
I used it for a short period of time. It's not necessary for me, and I prefer not to have everything on my PC. I used to use it to transfer things from the phone to the computer, but I prefer to keep it separated.
Yeah, and I don't really transfer a lot of stuff to the computer, and I use Mighty Text to move from my to Mirror. And because I have 2 Samsung devices now, I'm pretty sure I could figure out the mirroring thing that's built in Samsung if I really wanted to. So this isn't going to affect me much. It sounds like it might affect Martin. Might. And it doesn't sound like it's going to affect Ryan. But I do know that one of our team members, Rob, was quite disappointed with this news. So it'll be interesting.
Disappointed is not how he put it. It's pissed.
Yes, well, I was going for the family.
What do you use it mostly for, Martin?
Most of what I use it for is basically just to reply to text messages. None of the other features I've really used.
And I think the thing that Rob liked about it was that it also did WhatsApp and like all of the different things. So because it's a really good hub for messaging.
And like Rob pointed out, is he doesn't use his phone. Does not use it. It's mostly the PC he's at day in, day out at home. So he does it all from the PC. So for the fact that Pushbill just pushes everything for him, it's perfect. And this is where he's getting annoyed because now stripped down to 100 text message, can't copy paste URL from one device to another, can't just copy and just show up to the other place, and can't push larger files than 25 megs. Apparently he does way more than that.
Yeah, so he's going to be one of the people that will be making a decision about what they do.
It's already gone.
There's alternatives for most of these things. If you want to send files, just use Drive. If you want to use WhatsApp on the computer, they have a PC.
But it's the convenience of just having something in one spot for everything.
Right.
Like a hub.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Let's just move on here. So a new feature for photos. Ryan, you were going to talk about that?
Yeah, I know we've talked about this in the past couple of times before about how much do we keep of photos on our device, especially as we have Dropbox or Copy, but most famously Google Photos, which gives us an unlimited storage at high resolution, not original. So a lot of times, I know personally, I have to go now and again and clear out at least a month's worth of. So I only have a month's worth of photos on my phone. So I'm making sure I don't have on my phone, duplicates or whatever. So there's now a feature in Google Photos, and Siobhan was saying that this would come up automatically before if your phone was already getting near the limit of how close it was, for space. But now you can push a button and say, free up storage space on my device, because Google Photos now look at what photos have you uploaded to the service already and clear them off your phone for you, which is really nice service to automatically do that for you. I wish there was a feature I could say anything older than 2 weeks clear off versus just automatically everything.
Yeah.
But that's
it's not
just
scheduled.
Yeah. It'd be nice to do a scheduled feature. So that's one way they're doing it. The other way Google Photos now is a feature that if you want to clear up space in your Google Photos or your Google Drive account, you can actually say revert anything that's original resolution down to high resolution. So if you've been taking photos at 25 megapixels, it can reduce it. I think 20 is the top end, so it'll reduce them all down to 20 for you if you want to just save space in your Drive folder.
So 2 options there that help out with Google Photos. And then the big USB-C adapter debacle.
Right. So last week we were talking about how there was a Googler who had worked on the Nexus devices with the USB Type-C adapter connection, and a new connection looking through to make sure all the cables that are out there are up to spec. Well, the first phone to come out with the USB Type-C was the OnePlus 2, and they were going to sell a USB-C adapter for like a few bucks, and plenty of people were like, well, for a few bucks I can change all my cables over. That's going to be the cheapest way to do it. I might as well go ahead with them and buy that. Turns out it's not up to spec, so he's warning people off buying that one. It's I don't know what it's missing, but apparently it doesn't live up to current specs.
So, Siobhan, do you have the USB-C on your device?
No.
Okay.
I'm still on the regular one.
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering how quickly that adoption will happen. When
I'm
getting
old, I'm not good with changes. I'm happy with the regular.
Well, the thing is, when we went to micro USB, it was from a whole bunch of different, a bunch of different adapters, so it made the move a lot easier. But with this, we're already all sort of on the same one. It'll be interesting to see what USB-C will offer. That would be so amazing that everyone would go, ooh, yeah, me too. Especially since you pretty well have to buy a new phone to get it. But that leads us to, Siobhan, you have the last topic, and you do have the most interesting phone of all of us. So.
Yeah, I like my Oppo phones. So today, it's actually not relevant to my current phone. It will be soon, but Oppo launched their Project Spectrum ROM. It's not a new ROM. They already had an AOSP ROM available, but it didn't include some of their known features. So what they did is that they're offering an official stock Android ROM that includes some of their Color OS features, like the screen off gestures, the double tap to wake, the max audio, of course the rapid charge, and most importantly now it includes the camera app as well. So for people that want to buy an unlocked phone and still want to have a near stock experience like the Nexus phones, they can choose to buy Oppo, but they will get the option of also using the amazing Oppo camera app, which is a great bonus. Oppo doesn't void the warranty if you unlock the phone, root it, flash it, do whatever you want. They don't void the warranty. So for people that still like doing that stuff with phones, Oppo is a great choice. So now it's available. This ROM is available for the Find 7. but at the beginning of next year, they'll already start updating to the Marshmallow, and we'll also offer it for the R7 and R7 Plus, which I have. So it will be interesting. I like ColorOS personally. I like the extra features. I like the skin and everything that can be done with it. But some people don't. So it's great that the manufacturer actually offers both. It's pretty rare. I don't know any other company that offers you two options. They're
for the same device, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool. So you like ColorOS, so you're not really thinking of making this change, but
right.
It sounds like it'd be easy enough for you to make it and then move back.
Right. I might try it. It's because there's less bloat and less features, it will also be faster.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll just see how much I do miss from ColorOS. And the reason it's called Project Spectrum, it's because they wanted it to be kind of relate to ColorOS, so Color Spectrum. That's the connection between the two names.
I always like it when they explain the connection, because everybody's going, oh, I don't get it.
That's why they choose the name, yeah.
Well, that sounds interesting. You're going to have to keep us updated as it comes out for your device, and let us know if you give it a try. Tell us what you miss, because like I just recently moved back to Samsung after going with Sony for a while, and there's some stuff I really missed from Samsung, and I'm even finding some of the things that I liked about Sony is now available through other apps and stuff like that. So, your viewpoint will be interesting.
Yeah.
So, just a quick wrap up. Android TO, you guys are going to be getting together.
Oh, it's coming up.
In 2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks.
Wow.
Less than 2 weeks, yeah.
That's like that would mean December is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, scary. So you guys will have to do some live something from Toronto when you get together. We have some reviews. Is the Z5 review up now, Ryan? Or?
Yes, the Z5 review is up already with video, etc. So you can see all my thoughts on it. I thought it was a really good phone. I won't sort of belabor the point here, but it's up to, and then coming up in the way, I have the Note 5 currently giving that a try, the ZTE Axon, and new MPOW Cheetahs. These new headphones I've got. They're Bluetooth headphones that are really good. Really good. I think I found my new.
I'm looking forward to hear from them.
Yeah, so I will have that review up shortly. So.
Okay, and I did do a quick review on a clip case
Decal.
From Decal Girl, and this is, I used to get Decals, vinyl Decals, but this is a clip case that just pops on and off. Obviously not that easily. It's a plastic case. It does pop on and off. And the reason why I got it is because it only goes on the sides. It's got really good cutouts. It will protect against, casual drops and stuff like that. And it's colorful. Decal Girl has like thousands of art prints that you can get put on things. So they don't pay me, unfortunately, but they do have good products. I've been using them for like 5 years already. And yeah, they pretty well always have a sale too. So check it out. Anybody else got something to add?
I think that's it for the time being.
That's
it. Well, you guys all have a good weekend. Hope it to be nice and warmish where you are.
Hopefully.
At this point, I don't even look for warmth. I just look for, I don't know, no snow.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, snow. I can deal with cold, but just no snow.
Yep.
Okay, thanks everybody.
See you guys.
All right, take care, guys. Yeah, have a good week.
Next week.